So you have Sinema coming out and saying, not only am I not for the $3.5 trillion bill, I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not voting for that at all, which means, boom, right there, the whole thing falls apart. So to get to my point earlier where I mentioned if I'm negotiating this, if I'm in the room, if I have a seat, my line is it's got to be $2 trillion or more. And then obviously it depends on the details beyond that. But that's my real red line is $2 trillion or more. Do you think it's possible, number one, to get Manchin, Sinema, Warner, and the 7 or 8 gaggle of idiots who voted against the $15 minimum wage? Is it possible to get them, no matter what tactics you use, even if you use the carrot or stick approach, even if you twist arms like LBJ or FDR, is it possible to get them to support $3.5 trillion? And if the answer is no, well then what can we get them to support? Can we get them on 2 or 2.5? Because I think maybe we can do that, but I don't think we can get 3.5. What are your thoughts?
3.5 will be hard. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We will try. I mean, we as a Progressive Caucus will make the case again. What is it that you don't want in there? Why is it that that's bad policy? And then we will also make the case that these taxes are actually just going for taxing people who are extraordinarily wealthy, who haven't been paying the tax. You know, the person who should actually be opposed to these taxes is me, representing a district. That's who you're going to be taxing, all the millionaires and billionaires in Silicon Valley. And if the Silicon Valley congressman can be saying, look, tax them. I don't understand how someone from West Virginia doesn't want to tax, or Arizona doesn't want to tax the billionaires in my district. And many of them, by the way, are fine with paying the tax. So, we're going to continue to make the case that we need to raise these taxes on the ultra wealthy. We need to raise the corporate taxes to a level that they're actually paying tax. But if we can't convince them, I think there will be a compromise. And then the question becomes, where is it that we're willing to compromise? The climate and some of those basic provisions are not places. But, at some point, I wouldn't recommend to progressives that we tank everything and not even be willing to engage in some compromise language. But I'm also not going to put a lower red line out now and sort of negotiate with ourselves when the $3.5 trillion really was the negotiation.
Yeah, and I saw Senator Sanders out with kind of similar language just today saying, look, I already negotiated. I wanted 6 points. This is already brought way down from not only what Senator Sanders had proposed, but even what Joe Biden had proposed at one point during his candidacy. So I think that positioning makes a lot of sense. Talk to me a little bit more. You keep mentioning, I think this is important, that it really comes down to, what is Speaker Pelosi willing to put on the floor? And does she basically try to jam progressives by saying, look, this was the best we could get, so either vote for this or get nothing at all? What do you think that her incentives or motivations are with regards to reconciliation?
Well, let me first say something about Senator Sanders, if I may, and obviously I'm biased, having been a co-chair of his campaign. One of the most unfair criticisms leveled at Senator Sanders that is demonstrably false, and you both remember this, is that he's somehow obstructionist, that he's not a team player, that he won't know how to get anything done. And Senator Sanders has for 7 months proved that he's actually one of the biggest allies of the president. He has shown a pragmatism. He's shown a willingness to negotiate. He's shown a willingness to compromise. And yet he's gotten a large part of his agenda in not only this bill, but as sort of a defining part of the Democratic Party. I believe if you ask me where is Speaker Pelosi's conviction, I think she agrees with everything that is in the $3.5 trillion bill. And she definitely believes in the child tax credit. That's actually a core conviction of her. She believes in paid family leave. She believes that we should be expanding Medicare benefits. She believes that we should be expanding on the climate, on the clean energy standard. So this is not things where she would disagree with, right? She doesn't believe or is not publicly willing to support Medicare for all or free public college. She really wasn't willing to go to the mat for the $15 wage, or I guess she did in the House. That was more a Senate issue. But there are issues that Sanders, Warren believe in that she doesn't believe. This is something she really believes in. So then the question becomes, how much is she going to negotiate? I think she'll negotiate with maximal pressure to try to get as much of it, but she's going to be mindful that she's going to want something rather than nothing. And if anything, I think the Gottheimer strategy probably turned her off. I mean, yes, she's not going to be willing to do any sort of favors for them in terms of the negotiation.